Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your ambassador with KDTV, with another version of Good Morning Port Hueneme. And we have Mary Ann Rooney, which is always a treat, always interesting and action-packed and all the above. But she is the president of the Harbor District. And if you want to correct me on that, I always kind of mess that up.
That's okay. Board of Harbor Commissioners.
Okay, see, that was too much information for me. But anyway, we just got through kind of a historic part of our history here in the Ventura County in Hueneme. It was quite a battle, and the results are in. And I just hope the communication interview could be, where do we go to from here now? I mean, it's just so many things, and you being a leader, or an empire builder, as I call you.
No, not true. I'm the empire builder.
I called you that so people can blame me for calling you that. Yeah. But anyway, I just would love to hear what you think, how you're feeling, and what your vision is now for the up and coming future.
Well, you know, we have 2 new council members on the City Council at Hueneme, and we look forward to working with the entire new council. When you have a new team, you have to kind of work together and figure out how that's all going to happen. So we look forward to open dialogue with the city and see how we can work together and make better things happen here.
Yeah, and you're quite the example. You know, it's like there's a lot of times when people are unwilling, people agree to disagree, but you as a leader, I know you step up, and there are certain behaviors that you have to practice. And what do you think some of those behaviors are in terms of relational with people you agree with and maybe disagree with? I mean, what's key to all of that?
You know, I like a diversity of opinion.
Okay.
And I like to have reasonable disagreements.
Okay.
I always like to enter into a relationship that's built on trust and integrity and respect. And so that's how I determine my relationship, and that's how I like to be treated, and that's how I treat other people. So that's the way I enter into all conversations.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I think I'm kind of where I think are you the kind of person that realizes the better results comes when you have a diversity of opinions versus, yeah, we all agree, let's sing Kumbaya and we'll move forward. I mean,
well, I think that
when
you have diverse ideas and opinions, I think you can come up with great solutions and great opportunity. Sometimes when things don't happen the way you think they are, they may not, they weren't intended to be that way. So I look at adversity as an opportunity for growth and for great growth. So that's how it's happened in my life before, where things just didn't turn out the way I expected them to be. And so it opens the door for other things.
Yeah, and then have enough history, and you know that you have history in many aspects of your life. So I'm sure that will continue on.
Yeah.
But if you would just be a visionary as you are, just for a moment, and say, 10 years from now, what Port Hueneme, what positive things it's going to look like, you know, because of all the behavioral things you're doing and the relationship building and the visions you have, what would you hope Hueneme, Port Hueneme would look like, let's say in 10 years?
You're talking about the city, or you're talking about the port?
All the above. I don't know. You choose it.
Okay. Well, you know, it's...
The port. Let's just put it on port.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'm
so,
sorry.
you know, as an individual commissioner, it's... we need to work together as a board, and we need to work together with our staff. So in doing that, we're a collective body. So I bring my opinions and my vision to the body, and then we mull it all together and come up with a plan. And so right now we're actually working on the 2020 strategic plan.
And what is that?
For the port.
For uneducated people like myself.
Well, that's okay. So what we're going to do is bring together all the collective interested parties that have an interest in the port and what the port is going to do. And we bring everybody together to offer up an opportunity for conversation. So if you were interested, you say, well, I'd like the port to be a private sailing club, right? So you have an opportunity to share your vision for that. Our customers come together and they offer their vision for the future and what they might want to do. We offer for the city and the residents and the city of Oxnard. So anybody who's interested in having that conversation with the port to say, we'd like you to focus on this. That's what we're doing right now. So for 2020, we can build that plan and move in the direction that's in line with everybody. So we're not operating in a silo or in a vacuum, but you take all of those opinions and ideas and you put them all together and come up with something that's going to be effective for our region. Because, you know, we create almost 10,000 jobs here in the county, and those are good paying jobs. They sustain an economic downturn much better. and people have a great job. They can buy a house, they can, support
They
their
live
family.
life, right?
Yeah, and that's the nice thing. So we're very fortunate that we have this deep water port here. It's a unique resource that allows us to have connections to the rest of the county that nobody else really has the opportunity to do. So, yeah.
And who are some of the people, the profiles that are going to be showing up to these meetings? I mean,
well, we've got, as I mentioned, our customers are going to be there. People who are concerned about environmental impacts would be there. Anybody who's interested in seeing what is the port looking at and focusing on. Because we have some assets right now out at the port. There's a cold storage unit that's been sitting there not being utilized because one of our customers moved into containers.
Right.
So what do we do with that building? And so that's where we have the conversation with everybody to figure out what's the best use of that for the Harbor District that supports the community. So that's where we all work together, and we're not this individual agency that's operating by itself.
Right.
It fits in with the entire region. So we look at that and have the conversations on that. A couple years ago, we instituted an environmental framework policy, which we didn't have before.
Right.
So we focus on stormwater impacts. We focus on environmental impacts, to the air quality, water quality. And so we look at all of that as we're developing that strategic plan. So we bring all of that together to be good stewards of the environment. And also, how can we create a great economic impact here too? So we look at all that.
No, and I think that what you're saying too is there'll be a lot of people who are role models, people who are setting the pace, because I think there are actually more people like you who are setting the pace, setting the example, leading, so everybody can see it. And I know one of the things we connect with, and we don't talk about it, is that we're both parents, and what's the best way for your kids is to live it. It's one thing to talk about it. And that's how actually I view you. So you're stepping up, you're setting the example.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate that.
I mean that sincerely.
And it's nice that we have a lot of strong leadership in this area. From the leadership that's being brought in from the city of Hueneme, from the city of Oxnard, and from the county level. We can all work together to really build a great plan for the port and how it interacts and supports our county here.
No, it's big time. And I know that how we behave after all this election, all of us, win, lose, or draw, I think is going to be the key to the theme. And again, that's what I think you represent. And I was going to ask you, is the fact that you have so many different positive qualities. What would you say your two biggest strengths are? And so don't force me to tell you what those are. And if you want, you can be humble and say, well, whatever. But what do you think some of the things you are actually bringing to the table as a leader?
Wow, well that's a big question.
Really? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think again it goes back to treating people with respect.
Okay.
That can be the whole focus of success, I think. And then sometimes it's not about the message itself, it's about how it's delivered.
I agree.
Right. So to be able to have open, honest communication, I strive for that every day. So. Yeah.
And the tough part sometimes is communication that's an unpopular communication, hard to accept, not everybody's going to agree.
Right.
And I'm speaking of leadership quality. It's not about the profile of Marianne Rooney. I mean, to step into the leadership role, you're going to have to accept the fact that not everybody is going to agree.
You don't have it. Everybody doesn't agree with you every moment. I mean, that would be lovely, but that'd be kind of boring too.
Oh, of course.
And I don't think there would be opportunity for growth on that. I think that, again, through adversity, it provides an opportunity for growth. And so very happy about that. And, I look forward to working together with the city and figure out ways that we can work together in order to create more revenue, not only for the Harbor District, but for the city.
Right.
So as we improve and grow, the city has a direct relationship to that, in that they receive more revenue. As our revenue increases, so does theirs. So it was about a little over 10% of our revenue last year goes to the city through those revenue sharing agreements. So that's about $1.3 million last year.
Yeah.
So that's a great way for the city to have revenue to serve their citizens. through the work that's done at the Harbor District. So we're looking forward to figure out ways to collaborate, to figure out how best this would be to utilize the resource at the port for the benefit of the city. So I hope that we can have those open dialogue and communication between the two entities.
Well, I'm glad you're at the realm and not me, because you get reversed and you go, you don't like what I have to say, I made me cry. But no, I think that's a strength in leadership. You have to have.
What about the strength of the port of Hueneme? How could that, is there expansion possibilities there to bring in more freight?
Well, that's an interesting question. We had our highest revenue year in history last year. And so we've been steadily increasing. You know, it's about logistics. You know, you have, the port is very limited in the land use that it has. So what you can place, what vessels you can place at any one given time is really a logistical issue. Because if one vessel's there, another one can't come. So to honor our contracts, you know, if our customers are on their way, we're waiting for them.
Right.
And they have priority berths. That's one of the things that makes us competitive, is that we have an open, you know, a situation where they're coming, they're on their way, we're waiting for you, and our labor's ready to unload it. So how do we work together with that, and also the agreement that we have with the Navy, sharing the wharfs that we have with the joint use agreement. So it's complex. It's not complicated, but it's complex. And so honoring all of the agreements that we have with the Navy, the Coast Guard, Customs, agriculture, the city of Oxnard, Hueneme, the county, there's a lot of different relationships that exist. So we need to balance all those and to meet all of those contracts that overlap one another. So how we can do that? It's in that open, honest dialogue with people to say, here's what we're interested in doing. Can we make it work? Is it feasible? And does it provide an economic benefit for our county here? So all those things kind of come into play when we're looking at it. And we have amazing staff at the Harbor District. And our executive director, Kristen Dekas, is doing a great job.
We've had her on the show. I'd agree with you.
Yep, very proud that she sits on 2 national committees appointed by the Secretary of Transportation.
Yeah, and that's national, which is
really national. And then she was just recently elected as the chair of the American Association of Port Authorities, which is the Western Hemisphere of all the port authorities there. So it's a pretty big deal. So
yeah, it
she's
really
doing
is
great.
a big deal.
And the rest of our staff work really well. Everybody comes together and does a really great job, from our harbor masters to our facilities to our admin and our finance people. And so we have to figure out, how do you balance all that and bring it all together, and then work with our customers who are all there. In fact, they're the ones that make cargo move.
That's
so
very
it's
true.
them coming in and bringing it. And I was out there the other day, and there were 8 car vessels scheduled within 9 days.
Wow.
So there are cars parked everywhere around this county. So buy a car and eat bananas.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That is like overwhelming looking at the facility, and it's just almost like it's space age. You know, you sit there near the beach and you see all these beautiful cars and just the towers. It really is rather Star Wars-like, not to give that a...
And I was at, I bought a Tough Shed the other day. No plug for Tough Shed, but I was out there the other day and I'm pulling out and I see all these Hyundais and Kias parked in a parking lot out there in Ventura, and I was like, okay, there are cars everywhere in this county. So, but it's great.
I was amazed. I was driving to Camarillo Airport near the Career Education Center in their cars. So this is all dollars coming into Ventura County.
Right.
And it's something that is a major asset for us.
I mean, just the Hyundais and the Kia processor, it's global water processing, they employ 150 people. And money goes to the Navy base for renting the land that's out there too. So there's a lot of touch points by the product that comes in here. So we're very fortunate to have the asset here, trying to figure out how do we work it all together to benefit everybody and the interest of everybody, and have it be that strong economic engine for our county.
No, I love it. And I know I say a lot of things you don't believe, but you are truly a leader, Mary Ann Rooney. And I want to make sure I was staying on your holiday gift list. So that's a goal of mine for 2015. But thank you so much for stepping into the position. I know you have gifts, and how I see it from just being an audience is this is all going to be good. You know, there's going to be a lot of, I would say, hard conversation, honesty, but in the end, it's just all going to be good.
You know, it really is my honor and privilege to sit as a commissioner. It's a great asset for our community, and I really appreciate the support from the voters who put me in for another cycle.
No, and the next interview I'll ask you to sing. Yeah,
No, we're not singing.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, this is Peter Godinez, my executive producer. Baba has fainted, so we need to go. I'm just kidding. But anyway, this is KDY TV with Good Morning Port Hueneme with the lovely and very powerful
Oh my.
Mary Ann Rooney. Until next time.